Okay, now let us get into this evidence, right? Because somehow British people don't realize that their time is up. And they're spending their days worrying about migrants, illegal immigrants, what Enoch Powell said about rivers of blood. You better be prepared for those nuclear bombs that will be dropping in the UK. That is what you all need to prepare for. Let us get into this evidence from our credible source, Sky News. Former Armed Forces Minister James EP says UK must prepare for war despite being long way behind. Former Armed Forces Minister James Heapy wrote that many government departments had declined to practice evacuating to a bunker. Don't you think they know what they're doing? They're not practicing because they already know they can't win any war. They already know. When war breaks out, all that is going to happen is that every man for themselves. Let's continue. Preparing the nation for war is the best way to maximize the chance of peace. But the UK is a very long way behind, a former defense minister has warned. In a sign of how alien the idea of homeland defense has become to Downing Street and the Cabinet Office, James EP said officials declined to take part in a whole-of-government exercise to practice evacuating to a bunker in the event of a war. It was a drill former Defense Secretary Ben Wallace had pushed for to get people to down to the bunker so they could see what their working environment in war would be, Mr. EP wrote in an article for the Sunday Telegraph. Now, you can go and check the rest of it out and understand where you stand. Now, when it comes on to people in this country, they are full of themselves. White people, black people, Asian people, they are all full of themselves. And they eat and they drink and they enjoy themselves and they think that is how every day is going to look, right? They hear about wars and rumors of wars in other people's countries and they see it on TV and they sympathize and they might demonstrate. But guess what, Britain? War is coming to your doorstep. War is coming to your doorstep, right? And that is why for quite a while they have been selling your churches. They have been selling you sexual debauchery. They have been selling you the God of the LGBTQ. Now understand, a nation that stands with the Most High is a nation that cannot be defeated. Your LGBTQ God cannot bring victory for Britain. And if you go and look in your history books, when various countries go to war, they go to war with their God, the God of Israel, right? The God of Babylon, they go to war with their God. Understand, Britain, your LGBTQ God cannot bring you any victory. And that is a God they have left you with, right? While China get rid of it out their country, Russia, Iran, right? Now, if you're placed with China, Russia, and Iran, who is not LGBTQ, and the West that is pushing and promoting LGBTQ, who do you think will win that war? It's common sense, right? They all know. A nation that stands with the Most High is a nation that cannot be defeated. If you think that this war that is going to be fought, World War III, if you think that this war will be fought with flesh and blood, you have another thing coming. None of these wars that have been fought for all these centuries into modern times, they have all been fought with entities only thing you don't know. You think you're sending your children to go to war to fight with one man with the next man. No. Some of these individuals are not human. They might look like flesh and blood, but they are not human. Because we live with non-human entities walking around, masquerading around, and they are going to war with your children. And that is the part that they're not telling you. War is 95% spiritual. 95% of war is spiritual. And the powers, they understand it. And that is why they strip the West of their God. And they hand you the LGBTQ agenda, and anyone that says anything about it, they come at you. You're all sorts of homophobes. We're gonna get rid of you, right? Because you must shut up. Because in order to conquer the West, in order to defeat the West, they must give you the agenda, the LGBTQ agenda, the LGBTQ God. He cannot bring home victory for the West, and he cannot give Britain victory. And a lot of people in this country, in the United Kingdom, don't even realize how they have set you up, right? You no longer have any churches. You sell your churches. Your sacred grounds, you've sold them, right? You violated your sacred grounds. You disrespect them. And then you expect to go into a war with people who hold on to their God. Do you think you can win? It is common sense. And the powers, they know. Once the war starts, there is no clap for Britain. There is no put rainbow in window. They're going to abandon you. You're going to be on your own. Right? They're going to come get your children to go fight against these wicked, cruel entities to be a blood sacrifice. And they're going to abandon you. And then when China, Russia, or whomever get ready to invade Britain, they're going to round up the rest of you that survived the nuclear bomb and put you in slavery. Whatever you choose to do with this message is up to you. But what you're not going to say is that no one tried to warn you. We all tried to warn you during the demon juice. You all laugh. You say it's conspiracy theories. But guess what? You won't be laughing by the end of the year. Right? Because we have famine rolling up. We have an economic collapse coming up. And we have the war drums beating. And 40 days after this April 8th eclipse, expect a lot to be happening. Because things are going to get supernatural before your very eyes. Right? War is 90% spiritual. And if you check the history book, it will show you. When people are going to war, they always bring their God. Right? Or representation of their God to whatever war they are going. Which God, Britain, you'll be bringing to your war? Your LGBTQ God cannot bring you victory, and it cannot maintain your wealth. That is why the West and you were given the agenda. For you to celebrate openly. For you to disrespect your God openly. So that he will come off the land. So you will be easy to conquer. Easy to be round up. The very people you trust play a trick on you. So while a lot of you out here in Britain worried about migrants, worried about illegal immigrants, worried about what Enoch Powell says about rivers of blood, worry about those nuclear bombs that is coming, worry about the invading armies, China, Russia, or whomever that is coming. That is your future. You better find your God and find him real fast, Britain, because you don't stand a chance. We need to pray and say, glory be to the Most High.